game when it was a tie game. No, Drew Brees should not be on the hot seat. I keep telling you guys, Drew Brees this year and this offense is scoring more points than it did last year when they won 13 games. And I keep telling you that Drew Brees is looking at his defense give up 37 points in the loss and 34 points in the loss. And you might say, oh, what does that mean? What does that matter? Well, teams lose 91% of the time when they give up 34 points or more. So Drew Brees is doing more without all of his weapons. No Michael Thomas. Where's Slant God? He's injured right now. Emmanuel Sanders, just a uniform. Casper the Ghost out there, not being Emmanuel Sanders. And then Jared Cook gets hurt in his groin in this same game. Point being, stop trying to look at the guy who has the biggest name and put all the issues on him when he's not the problem.
We're not looking at the guy with the biggest name, Marcellus. What we're saying is this. Are you conducive to helping your team win? Every team is different. The Saints are giving up a lot of points right now. They are. You know who else is? I'll talk about more later. The Seahawks are as well. Saints have given up 94 points on a season. Seahawks have given up 87. Saints are 1-2. Seahawks are 3-0. So every game is different. We can't just sit here and say, oh, well, Drew Brees is still doing this or doing that. Here's the reason, though, that Drew Brees is on the hot seat. Let me get to the point.
Hot seat?
He has to be because you're paying a Taysom Hill $16 million. I didn't ask to pay him that much. You, Marcellus, didn't ask to pay him that much. But the Saints chose to pay Taysom Hill $16 million. So I need $16 million worth of production.
Stop fumbling then.
Kickoff, that's not kick return, that's not punt, that's not punt return. Here's the other problem, Marcellus.
What?
Say what you will about Jameis, and people have said so very.
You're not about to do this.
I'm not.
Okay,
but here's what I am going to do. Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
Duck and cover before they come at me.
What?
He threw for 5,000 yards last year. He's one of 8 quarterbacks in NFL history to do that. So while Jameis Winston, yes, he did throw a lot of interceptions, Sean Payton, if you're a Super Bowl champion head coach, an offensive guru, a quarterback whisperer, those are your roots. The offensive coordinating position, that's how you got to where you are. Don't you think you could do something with that? I'm going to steal from you, Marcellus, and say this.
Always stealing.
Maybe just see what somebody can do with a little bit more time. Remember Peyton Manning and the Broncos when they, by the way, won the Super Bowl? They just sat Peyton down for 9 games. Now, Peyton was struggling severely worse than Drew Brees, but the Broncos did win the Super Bowl by sitting down a future Hall of Famer in the latter half of his career. All I'm saying is he's on the hot seat. Doesn't mean he's off the seat yet. What? But he should be on the hot seat.
I'm going to steal from you, Acho. It's a cold world out there.
And
there ain't
no
no
blankets.
So, yeah, he's been on the hot seat even before we got into the season. And I'll tell you why. Because Sean Payton's on the hot seat before we got into the season. Right? He's doing well. Sean Payton has done well as a coach, one of the all-time legends, one of the all-time greats. But he is stalling out in the moments that truly count for the New Orleans Saints team. So now you're looking at, well, where's that stalling coming from, and can I correct it? And the first place you have to look at is what is the play of your quarterback. That could only be the reason why you bring in a Jameis Winston to replace what you lost in losing Teddy Bridgewater.
Good point.
So there's an already obvious reason to say that Drew Brees came in on the hot seat. Is it a little warmer? Yes, it's heating up, but we don't have to say he's on the hot seat as if he's in the casket, it's closed, and it's going into the ground. That just means he has to play better. Keep in mind, they're second in the NFC South, only to a team that they beat in the first game of the year, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I can't believe y'all, for real. Like, whew, okay.
Breathe, big dog. Breathe,
Come
big
on,
dog.
man.
And I don't know.
My Nana used to do. My Nana does that with her when that sugar acting up. You give her a peppermint.
Boy, I went to Drew Brees' wedding. Now I don't know what that was, 15 years ago, but I'm not leading with that bias. I'm leading with my facts over feelings, as you know. But damn it, I want to lean into my bias and ride a lot harder for Drew Brees, but let me just stay composed up here. I'm talking about the same Drew Brees who is 9th right now in quarterback rating. 9th. Only 8 guys are playing the position more efficiently and better than Drew Brees in the deep crunch of the numbers. But we know that Drew Brees is old. You know this for a fact, well, maybe not you, Acho. You know this for a fact, LaVar, because you felt this label. I know I felt it. When you turn 30, you remember when you turned 30? I saw a running back before in practice mess up. He's 29. Coach is like, oh, hey, you better pay attention, boy. You get your mind right. When you're 30 and you mess up, they like, oh, he losing his legs. It's over. It's behind him.
I retired. I wasn't in the league at 30.
Damn, none of y'all played long enough. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We are now experiencing ageism to the finest. To the point where now, in one block, we don't want to put Carson Wentz on the hot seat or get him out of there because of backups, Jalen Hurts. But on this block, let's go with the highly overpaid backup or Jameis Winston, who came on the cheap. Jameis Winston was on that team because he said, I will be on your team for $1 million. And they're like, well, we got that. But they did not.
I'm not a part of that argument.
They did not seek Jameis Winston for that. So, 9th in quarterback rating, bench him, hot seat him. What the hell are y'all talking about?
Matters. My argument for
his age.
My argument for Jameis and company, my argument for Carson and company is simply this. Eagles are half game back. The whole NFC least is terrible. My argument for the Bucs for this conversation is simply the Bucs are ascending. The Saints are descending. They are heading in two completely different directions. But here, let me do something too. Because
hold on.
I'm not going to hold on just yet. I'm not going to hold on just yet.
You just said that they are a game back, right? You know that
I
said that. The Saints are a game back.
But they are a game back.
Are a game back with the tiebreaker. So now make some sense out of this.
The sense is this. The Giants are terrible. Cowboys not great. Football team not great. Eagles are also all terrible. The Buccaneers are ascending. The Saints are descending. That is the sense. But let me get to my point. Stop telling me about these different, Drew Brees' completion percentage is so high. Drew Brees doesn't throw the ball, and he throws the ball from me to you.
I didn't say
I can't even go to the gym. So they can see the difference between me. Drew Brees throws the ball of the limitations of social distancing. And he throws the ball.
Now that's a bar.
That is what he does. So
he's always done that.
Of course, Drew Brees is going to have a high completion percentage. Marcel,
I didn't say completion percentage. I said quarterback rating.
Say whatever you will. Of course, it's going to be inflated because Drew Brees is not taking very many risks.
It's always been that. If that's the case now, it's always been the case. You found out, like everybody else, this new stat, air yards, where from the ball travels from the line of scrimmage down the full field. And all of a sudden, Drew Brees was dead last in air yards this year. He was 4th to last year. The year before it, he was 2nd to last. And nobody was talking about it when they were winning 13 games. So how is he now on the hot seat?
But people
were in that same position before.
Can I just say this? What Acho is saying has some validity to it. The point is that people are panicking based upon what they think the projection of this team is going to be. So that loss to the Raiders, it made people nervous, right? It's like, oh, that's a team you should have beat. Now, we don't really know how good this Raiders team is. And so it's hard to make a judgment, a determination on where Drew Brees is in this Saints team. So now we're looking at this and we're saying that seat could get scorching hot if you lose to a team like the Detroit Lions. And I think that's what sets up the conversation of what's going on right now. We can look at his rating being 9th and quarterback rating. We can look at a lot of the things that Drew Brees has done well. But as it stands right now, it's a 2-team race in that NFC South. The Falcons are, I don't know if they're going to fall off the cliff or try to find themselves, don't know. Carolina is a team that's trying to figure out what their identity is going to be. And the other team that is continuing to look like they're improving, the Saints beat them. But if you can only beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you can't win games like this Detroit Lion game, it still puts you in the conversation of, is this team better off if they go into a different direction, knowing that they could possibly be better with somebody else under center?
All that happened is this, Marcellus. After the Raiders lost, we turned it up to 350.
One loss.
After the Raiders lost,
one loss.
We turned it up. We turned it up to 350.
Why are you in the kitchen after one loss?
We preheated it. We preheated the oven. Now,
because it was already on before the season started.
Because he ageism.
We can come back and hit cancel, and we can turn it off. But right now, it's preheating. You just better not hear it go. Because when you hear that, that means it is done.
Oh, my God.
It is hot. That means it is over and done with.
The expectation is to win a Super Bowl, and you guys know that. For the Saints, They've raised the standard and the bar so high that the expectation is to win a Super Bowl.
I love
so
you.
if they're not trending that way, then you gotta judge them based off of that.
They've won one Super Bowl since Drew Brees has been there, and that's 2006. It's 2020.
But that's a lot of pressure.
Watch what you want and watch what you're out there saying, because it has to map onto reality. So stop with these absurd expectations. They want to be contenders, as they always are, and that's what they always will be. They beat the Bucs week 1 by 11. Then this same trending Bucs team Acho was talking about, which I agree with, but that same team that you already beat goes out there and beats the Panthers and the Broncos. And you keep telling me I got to be scared of a team that I beat who hasn't beat anybody